Who pays what in time chartering? A charterer ordered the ship to a congested port. Tugboats were required. Canal dues became payable. Additional bunker were consumed because of the delay. Stowaways were discovered after sailing from that port. We have also incurred crew overtime cost and other expenses. Usually, time charterer is responsible for all these costs. Which expenses belong to charterers and which remain for owners? I am Captain Mohamed Bazina. Topics we'll be discussing today. Charterers expenses, of course, in addition to the hire. We will discuss in more details here. Let's explore voyage-related cost, cargo operation cost, operational and administrative cost, risk dispute area, or we call it gray area here, relevant charter party clauses in different forms like NYPE 2015, Shelltime, and Baltime, recommendations how to avoid disputes. Let's discuss here the general rule to allocate expenses in time chartering. You know, time chartering or time charterer, he is responsible for the commercial management of the ship. He is guiding the ship he is choosing the voyage, of course, in accordance with the charter party. So he's responsible for the commercial management and the cargo operation. So charterer is responsible for the voyage and the commercial cost. Ship owner is responsible to make the ship in seaworthy condition, which means crew, maintenance, all this belong to the owner. But the allocation of cost is not always clear, it's not always predefined in the charter party. That's why expense allocation disputes are common in time charters. So regarding voyage-related cost, we have bunker, we have port charges, we have pilotage, towage, and canal dues. Whatever related to the cargo, we have loading, discharging, stevedoring, cargo handling, hold cleaning, and supercargo. We are going to discuss all these items in more details. Operational or administrative cost includes agency fees, communication, CVE, expenses, taxes, and consular charges. Risk or disputed area like stevedore damage, war risk bonuses, fumigation, and hidden cost. First of all, the charterer, of course, the ship is in under time charter. The charterer is going to pay the hire. Besides the hire, of course, he has to pay other expenses like the bunker. He's responsible for the bunker. He's responsible for port charges and harbor charges. Pilotage, he has to pay for the pilot. Cargo handling like loading and discharging. Any damage caused to the ship, he is responsible, or the time charterer here is responsible. This is all spelled out here in charter party on all the forms here, like NYPE, it's spelled out clearly in clause number 7. Also in Shelltime, it's all spelled out here in clause number 7 also here in Shelltime 4. Let's discuss more details about all these items included in all these clauses. Agency fee is for the charterer's account, but whatever related to the crew or the ship, of course, it will be for the owner's account. So the charterer is going to pay for the agent, but any service belongs to the ship itself or crew or maintenance of the ship, it will be for ship owner's account. And sometimes the charterer also writes this in the additional clauses here, while list on hire the charterer to pay for, of course, unless attributable to maintenance and manning of the vessel. Here the charterer is trying to cover himself, like he's telling, okay, I'm paying the agency fee, but whatever related to the ship itself or crew or maintenance or master, it will be paid by the ship owner. Cargo handling, straightforward, is for the charter's account here as in clause number 8 in NYPE 2015. Bunker also is paid by the charterer, while it's the ship on hire. We have to make sure what form you are using, because some form it's not included that term while it's on hire. So if the ship is off hire, the charterer is not going to pay for bunker here. So this is very crucial addition here. If you are not using NYPE 2015, you need to make sure it is included here, that term while list on hire. Regarding bunker quantity and quality, of course, charterer and the owners, you have to agree on the bunker quantity and the quality as specified in the charter party. The quantity, of course, is very crucial here because the charterer needs to carry his cargo, not excessive bunker here. So we have to agree with the ship owner here. Between the charterer and the ship owners, you have to agree what quantity and quality should be delivered as a delivery and redelivery here. Port charges is paid by the charterer here, straightforward. Also, pilotage here, the pilot or the pilot which takes the ship inside the port is paid by the charterer. If the charter party is silent, charterers must pay for pilotage required by local regulations and also whatever affects safe navigation of the vessel. So it is paid still by the charterer here. NYPE is straightforward here, compulsory and or customary pilotage. So it is paid by the charterer. Tugboats, of course, tugboats to take the ship inside the port and outside the port is paid by the charterer. Consular charges, whatever belongs to the vessel itself, is paid by the ship owner, of course, like crew or maintenance or the ship itself or flag regulations or flag state obligations. Other than that, it will be paid by the charterer. Taxes and dues, any taxes regarding the cargo itself, of course, it will be paid by the charterer. But other than that, any taxes for the ship itself, of course, it will be paid by the owner. This is all spelled out in NYPE 2015, clause number 40. Supercargo, what do you mean by supercargo? He's a representative of the charterer on board the ship to ensure the performance and the speed as required or as mentioned in the charter party. So the expenses here is different from one form to another. Some form it's free, it is counted as part of the hire. In some forms they have to agree on some kind of rate, like how much per day we have to charge that supercargo or that representative. So here, charterer may place a supercargo representative on board the vessel to ensure voyage performance. Here is straightforward Shelltime 4, charterer paying at the rate of how much, for example, every 15 days, how much. This is straightforward in Shelltime. In NYPE, it is part of the hire itself. CVE expenses clause here, communication or victualling. Also, it can be a lump sum paid or as agreed, so the charterer has to pay for that money. Regarding fumigation cost, to disinfect the cargo or to disinfect the cargo holds or to make sure the holds are ready to receive the cargo, all costs, of course, for the charterer. But if any fumigation or quarantine related to crew illness, it will be for the owner's account. This is straightforward in NYPE 2015, clause number 7. Regarding crew overtime, so the crew, of course, they are working for the ship owner and it's part of the hire. The crew are working also for the charterer. But if any overtime has to be paid for crew, we have to agree on that. Okay, so in some charter party, charterer pay crew overtime related to cargo operation. In some forms, owners bear overtime cost like in Shelltime here. So it depends on what kind of form. So the charterer has to be aware what kind of form you are using. Regarding hire includes overtime in some form also, like NYPE, the hire includes the overtime. Regarding war zone crew bonus, if bonus have to be paid for crew if the vessel is sent to a war zone, it should be paid by the charterer. This is straightforward in NYPE 2015, if agreed, of course, by the ship owner, the ship to go to that area. In Shelltime, also, charterer shall reimburse owner for any additional insurance. Also, the charterer has to pay for any extra insurance if it was agreed in the charter part. Regarding stevedore damage, the charterer, of course, stevedore or the laborers who are responsible for loading and discharging. Sometimes they make damage to the ship. The charterer is responsible. But we have one condition here, or sometimes it is included in the charter party. The master or the owner, they have to inform the charterer within 24 hours so the owner can go after the stevedore company and hold them responsible. Cleaning of cargo hold, this is the charterer's responsibility here. But of course, the ship under time charter crew, they have to do the best they can. But if any required cleaning or extra cleaning required from shore, the charterer has to pay for that. Cargo tank cleaning in tankers, of course, the owner is responsible for that. This is straightforward in tanker. Tanker charters are different. Owners are normally responsible for keeping tank pumps and pipelines clean. If the vessel is driven into port or shelter, like if it is bad weather and the ship cannot sail due to bad weather, the ship has to hide in some kind of shelter. Any time wasted here, it's for the charterer's account. Stowaways, of course, stowaways, it could be for the ship owner. You know, stowaways like illegal immigrants which are found on the ship or on board the ship after the ship sails from a port. It could be for the owner's account or the charterer's account. We have one video here. You can refer to that specific video covering that item in full details. Regarding Canal by Voyage extra lights, if it is required extra lights or Voyage, like the ship is going in Suez Canal, for example, or any other canal and required boats or extra light or any extra arrangement, that charterer has to pay for that. At redelivery, of course, all this cost will go back to the owner. Recommendation to avoid disputes, of course, we need to clearly define expense allocation in the charter party. We need to review relevant clauses carefully before fixing the vessel. Clarify gray area such as agency fee, overtime, and fumigation or other area. We need to keep proper records and notices to support claims. Master and operators should report damages immediately. Owners and charterers should communicate early to avoid disputes. Always refer to applicable charter party form and rider clauses. In the next video, we will look at the opposite side. What expenses remain for the ship owner's account? If you work in shipping, shipbroking, or operation chartering, subscribe for more practical chartering lessons. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.